Good morning. Hey, I'm talking to you.
Good morning. It's January 12th, 2022, and it is day 12 of Vloguary. All right, today we're going back to basics. We're talking tips and tricks on boondocking. Okay, so biggest question, what is boondocking? If you're not familiar with it, it's also known as maybe dry camping. You may have heard it kind of interchangeably used. When you're camping in your rig without a hookup. So if you go into an RV park and they have full hookups, it means you're going to be able to access 50 amp or 30 amp power. You're going to have water, you're going to have sewer. Just like you are in your home, you can use whatever you want, whenever you want. You can run your air conditioning, you can run your microwaves, you can run all the stuff on full power. You can take care of your dishwashing, you can let the faucet run. You can pretty much do whatever you want, just like you're in a normal home. But the minute you leave the campground, and you camp overnight somewhere that's not a RV park or a resort or without the hookups, now all of a sudden you're doing what's called dry camping or boondocking, which means you have to live on the resources you have. So if your fresh water tank is only 100 gallons or 80 gallons, that's all you got. You got to ration it for however long you're going to be out. If your black tank is overflowing, you have nowhere to dump it, well, you're kind of screwed. If your gray tank is coming up the sink because you just let it all go, well, now you got some problems. What about your batteries? You know, if you're out there on full power, so now how are you charging your batteries? Because every time that you're running the microwave, it's draining those batteries down. All these things are things that you have to think about when you're boondocking, but don't let it scare you. It is not that difficult. You just have to know a couple things. For me, I want to know, how long am I going to be gone? Well, really, that's it. How long am I going to be gone? How do I need to ration my water, my space, and backup? So I'm going to show you some tips I've discovered when I do that, okay? Okay, so in my rig, I have an 80-gallon water tank. And I also have and it's just an 80-gallon freshwater tank. Now, I have not been able to find any data from Integra on this particular model on how my gray tanks are split up. I've got 5 tanks on this rig. I've got a 80-gallon freshwater tank. I have 2 black tanks, 2 gray tanks. If you don't know, the black tanks are for your toilets, the gray tanks are for your sinks and your showers, or anything else other than your toilet. My kitchen sink here, the bathroom sink, and oh, hi there. Those are both running, and then the same with the back and the washer and the dryer. So here's a way that I track my water usage. Because when you're just running it out of the faucet, you don't know how much you're using, so you don't know how much you're pulling from your fresh tank, and you don't know how much you're putting into your gray tank. So here's what I have done. I have a bunch of these 5-gallon drugs that I travel with. I've got 4 of them, so I know I have 20 gallons in here. And anytime I'm boondocking, I always just use this when I'm doing dishes, washing my hands, cooking, cleaning, whatever. I use this bucket, these 20 gallons, because I know, like right now, this one's almost empty. I've been out here since Saturday. So it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever day it is. So this one's almost out, which means I've gone through 5 gallons of water in the last 3 or 4 days. So I know in general, approximately, that my gray tank is maybe got 5, 6, maybe 7 gallons in it, because I don't use this. Oh, and then when using the bathrooms and stuff, I don't wash my hands with soap and water. I just use hand sanitizers. I got this here. I also got one in the bathroom. So I know that this front tank should be good to go. I just know how much I'm using, so I know how much I've got. Now then, back here in the shower, I know this is a 2-gallon per minute water nozzle that I bought. So that's telling me for every minute I'm running the shower, I'm going through 2 gallons of water. And here's what's great about this. I shower every day. Now, remember, I use the blue bins for fresh water. That means my 80-gallon water tank that I have in the rig, the only thing that it's really drawing power from is for the shower. So theoretically, and this is all hypothetical, theoretically, you know, I can take really long showers at, 2 minutes a pop, or at 2 gallons per minute. So that's kind of how I'll justify and manage my shower usage. The problem is, though, the shower has a different gray tank than my sink. So even though I have 80 gallons of fresh water, I don't know how they separated. Like, I don't know if I have 2 40-gallon gray tanks. I don't know if I have 2 30-gallon gray tanks. I don't know if I have one 50-gallon and one 20-gallon gray tank. I haven't been able to find that anywhere. Nobody seems to know on this model. Don't ever go by these. These are worthless. Those gauges are just completely unreliable. So you have to kind of know where you're at in the sense of things. That's why I know. I've gone through one of these already, 5 gallons. I know how many minutes, how many showers I take, and I know how many minutes each shower is, so I can kind of run my faucet so I have a good idea on how much water I'm using over there. All right, next, let's talk about power. This is my Xantrax inverter, and what the inverter is doing is it allows me to run certain appliances and certain things without the generator on. So it's just draining from your batteries that I have. So like in your car, if your car's not running, you can still run the lights, you can still run the radio. Same thing here, without the car running, without the generator on, I can still run certain appliances. For example, I can still run the lights that's going on in the rig. I have power outlets that are hooked up to the converter, so I can still work on my laptop and computers and stuff. I can still run the microwave off the inverter without the generator. However, I cannot run the air conditioning. It takes too much power, too much starting up power. And there's certain outlets in my rig that do not allow me to, that won't work when I'm not running the inverter. Okay, so you got to watch your battery usage. Now, ways that you can keep your batteries topped off, 3 ways. One of them is solar. If you can get solar up on your roof, the sun's just going to keep charging it throughout the day, and then hopefully by the end of the night when the sun goes down, you'll have a full battery bank that will get you all the way through the next morning that you can do. So hopefully you won't ever have to run your generator. It's the second way. You can run your generator, and that will charge your batteries. And as you're running your generator, not only will it charge your house batteries and your chassis batteries, but you'll also be able to run the air conditioning, you'll be able to run the microwaves, all the other outlets come on. So like if I want to use the Instapot or something, I have to run the generator just because that's where the plug is. Same thing with the coffee maker and all that. That's why that's important. The third way you can charge your batteries, at least in my rig and any drivable, is just by starting your engine. Start your engine in the car, it'll charge your batteries. Not a problem. You just got to keep them up and running, but you always got to monitor them because AGM batteries, especially if they drop below 50%, you're gonna get damaged. So you don't want to drop your AGM battery tanks by under 50% because that's going to start causing issues. I have lithiums. Lithiums you can pretty much drop all the way to 0, which is fantastic. And I have 400 amp hours of lithium batteries in my rig here. Something else to take note of, if you're nervous about boondocking, if you just think that you just can't do it or you're not sure how long things are going to take, if you're just an RV park person, here's what I would challenge you to do. I would challenge you the next time you're at an RV park, pull in and empty your tanks and fill up your water tanks so that they're full, and then disconnect everything. Just like turn off the water from the spigot, turn off the power from the electrical box, and then just go. Like don't go. Like don't leave, but just stay in that RV spot with your hookups and see how it goes. Stay there for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, and just see, hey, how long did it take for me to run out of water? How long did it take for me to fill up my black water tank or my gray water tanks? How long was I able to go without running the generator? When you're at a campground, though, you really can't run generators. That's very, very pretty much frowned upon. So what you do is whenever you go and you need power, just go and turn the breaker on, and then just in your mind saying, this is my generator running. How many hours am I running it? And then when you don't need it after you're done cooking or the air conditioner or whatever, you go turn your breakers off and then just see how long you can go until, you hit that point where it's like, okay, I need to start it up. I usually can get by, assuming everything is okay, I can normally get by with just running my generator maybe 2 hours in the morning and then 2 hours in the evening. So I normally run it when I wake up and I want to maybe turn on the fireplace because it's hot or because it's cold outside, and I want to make my coffee, so I'll run it in the morning. I also turn on the hot water heater, the electric hot water heater, so that way that kind of works. So as the generator's running, I'm getting other stuff done. Once I'm done with my showers, then generator comes off. Normally it's warmer and fire comes off, the electric heater comes off, I don't need my coffee, so I'm good all the way up until dinner. I do think I have a battery leak though. Not a battery leak, but I think there's an appliance that's draining some power I'm trying to troubleshoot. There was one night here at the bash where I woke up and the rig went into safety mode and it cut off all my batteries because it got too low. It was just a nice safety feature, but it shouldn't have done that. I think I left something on that shouldn't have been on, and I don't know what that I don't know what that was. So boondocking again, I also use this for drinking water. So this is purely drinking water. The bigger blue tanks are for everything else. So I normally put it up there. So again, I got 20 gallons of that. And I have 3 of these drinking water jugs in the event I ever need that to go. So what happens if you accidentally overflow your tanks when you are out boondocking? Well, you can always get one of these. This here, I don't know what the exact name of it is, and I didn't buy this one, so I don't even know how much they cost. This one we found in the desert when actually it was in the dumpster at the Grand Sierra Resort after Burning Man this year. It's called, what is this, Token Store? We tested it to make sure that it all has, it's leak proof, but essentially it's a big old container, and I don't even know how many gallons this is. 25 gallons. Wow, 25 gallons that you can use to dump your gray tanks in. So if you're set up somewhere, you can have one of these. You can just dump your tanks in this, and then a lot of people, what they'll do is, this one doesn't have it, but a lot of people will take a rope or something, tie it to the back of their car, and then they'll just roll it to a dump station. That will give you an extra 25 gallons of tank capacity if you need it. Other things to consider that you may not even think about when you're boondocking. We talked about water usage, but you also need to worry about like your trash. Because if you're out in BLM land or any of these other places, there's no dumpsters out there typically. So you got to be really conservative with your garbage. And it's kind of a fine line, okay? So I've got a couple things. When I'm boondocking, I use paper plates. Paper plates are great because you don't need to wash them. You don't need to wash your plates, then you don't need to waste your water. Problem with that is it creates garbage. So it's kind of like got that double-edged sword. I've also got here, this is what I call my boondocking kit. This right here, it's plastic forks, plastic knives, plastic spoons, everything disposable. So the only time that I am actually washing dishes is when I'm like my cooking utensils, spatulas, things I use for the griddle. Oh, by the way, that reminds me of something. When you're cooking and boondocking, you've got pots and pans that when you use them, they're going to need to be washed. That's going to use your water. It's going to take away from your resources. When I'm boondocking, I really absolutely love my Blackstone. The great thing about this Blackstone Griddle is you just cook right on top of the surface, and you don't have to worry about pots or pans or anything like that. You just cook right up onto the griddle, and you have absolutely no cleanup at all. So it's the greatest thing when it comes to conserving water when you're trying to cook. So overall, boondocking is not a hard thing, and people always kind of like get freaked out a little bit about it, but it is not a hard thing if you know your rig. And I would suggest to anybody, if you're buying your rig for the first time, or you're not really sure about the systems, you gotta test it. You gotta push it to the limits of both your comfort zone and the rig's capabilities, so you know when something's not right. The last thing that you want to do is like be driving down the road and maybe you have a mechanical problem or something, and you just get into this situation where you're uncomfortable and you go, I don't know how to boondock. Maybe you need to just drive it to the side of the road and camp out in a dealership's parking lot or something like that. You shouldn't be afraid of it. The more you boondock, the more you're going to realize you're getting that freedom and that joy that kind of comes from exploring. One of the reasons why I'm sure you got into the RVing thing in the first place. A lot of tips, a lot of stuff in there. Oh, here's another tip. If you are dead set on using plates instead of paper plates while boondocking, another trip that we used, let me get my plate. If you are dead set on it, you know, you can take your plate, your really nice thing, and then just put on some cling wrap. Just put cling wrap over your plate, and then you just eat off of it. Then when you're done, just pull the cling wrap off, muff it up, throw it in the garbage. You don't have to worry about doing any dishes on that plate again. So if you're one of those people that just absolutely, positively cannot eat off of a paper plate, that's an option. I personally would find it weirder eating off a cling wrap, but it's a way to keep your stuff clean. So there you go. And I'm kind of curious as to what you guys do who are more experienced in boondocking or have been doing it for a long time. What do you do to save water, save energy, save power, your resources? You know, what are some other tips and tricks that you've used when you're doing extended boondocking? Drop those in the comments below. I would love to be able to hear it and to really just share the community and share ideas. That's what one of the great things about being at an RV rally is, or kind of walking around. You get to see other people setups. You get to get other ideas, and you just have that continued growth of knowledge, which is exciting. It makes you a better camper. It makes you more prepared. It helps you be a happier person, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. That's it for today's edition of Vloguary. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to my channel. We're vlogging every single day in the month of Vloguary, i.e. January. I hope you're getting some value out of it. Please engage. I love the comments. I love the engagement from the people that are watching. So until tomorrow, I will see you. Claim the vision. Thanks for watching.